True beauty, like radiant beauty, is found in the obscure, is found in the bewildering. When we look at something that is so unique and yet so magnetic, that is where true beauty is found. Hi everyone, and welcome back to my channel. My name is Erin, and this channel is all about becoming the coolest person that you know so that you can live an extraordinary life and if you choose to do so, build an extraordinary business. Becoming the coolest person that you know is all about self-perception, the way that you feel about yourself. And so I wanted to sit down and record a video that tackled the topic of beauty, tackled the topic of the way that we look from the lens of becoming the coolest person that you know, from the lens of self-concept. Because there is absolutely no denying that the way that you look, the way that you present yourself to the world is going to contribute to what you are able to attract. When you are going out into the world as the most beautiful, most magnetic version of yourself, you will get more opportunities. Now, I know you're sitting there thinking, Erin, aren't you supposed to be for women? Are you sitting here and telling me that I need to partake in the beauty standard in order to get ahead in life? Look, we're not naive here. We know that there is that side of it. That's not what I'm talking about. I'm talking about, and before you roll your eyes, stay with me. I'm talking about the inner beauty, the energy of being attractive. I'm talking about when you feel a certain way about yourself because you've taken certain steps to feel that way, which is what I'm going to be sharing with you in today's video. You present yourself differently to the world. Attractiveness isn't always about facial symmetry. It isn't always about the beauty standard that we see in the magazines or on social media. And in fact, I have some thoughts on that anyway. True beauty, like radiant beauty, is found in the obscure, is found in the bewildering. When we look at something that is so unique and yet so magnetic, that is where true beauty is found. You know, so many of these people that are leading the beauty standard these days, like, yes, of course, they are still presented with new opportunities, let's say in the job market or on social media, but that's not what I personally perceive to be true beauty. Getting a bunch of lip fillers, getting a bunch of Botox, you know, having a certain aesthetic, like whatever it is this month, the tomato girl aesthetic or the that girl aesthetic, it has become so typical now that it isn't actually that beautiful because we see it so often. You know, we see it so regularly. Now, of course, there is still appreciation that can be found in things that we see regularly, like nature. But even when it comes to nature, like nature in and of itself is a collection of oddly shaped, weird, imperfect, different things. And so there's that side when it comes to beauty that I think that beauty really is in the different, beauty is in the weird, beauty is in the unique. But either way, I think the most beautiful thing, the most beautiful people, I should say, are the people that feel that within themselves, that feel like they are unique, that feel like they are magnetic, that feel like they are beautiful. And on the other side of things as well, there have been so many instances in, let's say, history where we have examples of women who have been the greatest seducers of our time and yet have been noted not to be like conventionally attractive. Cleopatra is someone that comes to mind when I think about this. And so again, it's just an example of where like beauty and attraction and magnetism doesn't necessarily come from like some standard, but again, the energy that one presents, the way that you feel about yourself. Like, let's just put all that plainly. I said a lot of things right now, but the way that you feel about yourself is really going to determine how attractive you are, not just to yourself, which is the most important part of it, but to the world around you. Energy actually has so much weighting. And when you carry yourself with magnetism, with sensuality, with sexuality, when you carry yourself as someone who truly believes that they are beautiful, that is what the world will reflect back to you. I know it's hard because when we look in the mirror and we have so many things to compare ourselves to, so many people to compare ourselves to that we see are being rewarded for looking a certain way, that messes with your head. That's what's contributing. And so I'm not saying this is easy to see yourself as beautiful if you don't match that beauty standard, but what I'm saying is that it's possible with a little bit of intentionality to create your whole own lane of beauty that is so unique to you that you feel like you are the hottest person alive because you really are living as the only example of your definition of beauty. But then you can also then go appreciate everyone else around you in the same breath. So let's get into my steps that you can take. You know, some of them are a little bit more, let's say, mindset focused, and some of them are quite practical. But these are the things that I feel like you can start doing to see yourself as the hottest, most beautiful, most incredible person in the entire world, so that you can go out feeling that way and then attracting opportunities from that energy. So my first piece of advice is to find your unique style. Now, I made a video a couple of months ago all about finding your unique style through astrology, but there is so much power in wearing clothes that make you feel like the hottest person alive, like even down to the small details of style. If you can find clothes that accentuate your features, your most beautiful features, if you can go on an exploration journey where you actually find items of clothing, bits of clothing, colors of clothing. Did you know that different skin tones have certain seasons of clothing? So if you think like fall is like your browns and your creams, and summer is your more colorful clothes, but certain skin tones fit certain seasons. I went on this journey recently where I actually like reinvented my style using astrology. I made an entire video on like my shopping, and I did a little try on haul, and it was really fun. But honestly, I have been feeling way more beautiful in myself when I have, rather than following all the trends and rather than even following the seasons, been dressing more in alignment to kind of like, what is my most magnetic self? What is my most comfortable self? Like for me, it really is a lot of animal prints, you know, I guess you could call it like the mob life aesthetic, but whatever, a lot of dark tones. You know, I was so sick of wearing black clothes for so long because that's what everybody in Melbourne does. And honestly, when I just surrendered to the fact that that's what I feel best in, I felt so much more beautiful. And so I know it feels like a lot of effort to do that, but the thing is, and I'm going to say this a lot, you're worth it. You're worth not just letting our consumerist economy tell you what you should be buying, tell you what you should be wearing, and rather going on a journey, going through the process of finding what is the most magnetic, like aesthetic of clothing, style of clothing, fit of clothing, color of clothing for you. It might be one of the best things that you do if you have the resources to do so. Maybe work with a stylist, but just do research on the internet, go into department stores and try on clothes that you wouldn't normally try on, go into vintage stores and actually try on styles that are really unique. Like this kind of neckline, long sleeves is something that I just really love to wear, and I bought so many from secondhand stores lately, like these really, again, like obscure patterns and stuff, and it's just something that's really helping me define my own style. The second piece of advice that I do have, I don't want to spend too much time on this, is put effort into your hygiene. I guess you could call it that. Now, I know this isn't supposed to be a video where I'm like, here, take this like 12-step skincare routine because that's going to make you more conventionally beautiful. What I am saying is you will feel more beautiful when you respect your vessel, when you respect your human body, when you put tenderness and love and care and sensuality into taking care of this physical body that you have. Like, again, treating it like a romantic relationship with yourself, bringing more romance into your self-care routine. It's just going to build self-respect, and self-respect is one of those foundations that is really going to change the way that you see yourself. Because, and I want to talk about the mindset side in a little bit, I guarantee probably sometimes in your life, like you are your last priority. Specifically as women, especially those of you who are running businesses, you're probably doing everything for your family, your partner, your clients, and putting your self-care, taking care of your beautiful human vessel right to the back of the priority line. And so when you move that up and you start actually treating yourself like a freaking goddess, actually treating your body like royalty, when you start putting that effort in because you deserve it, that's when it's going to just change. Literally, like the physical way that you see yourself will change with these mindset steps and with these respect steps that I'm talking about throughout this video. So much of it comes out of the intentionality behind why you're doing it. Because if you're doing it out of like, I have to do this to stay young and beautiful, and this is what society, like if there's resentment there, then that's the energy that you're going to be doing that in. Whereas if you're doing it because you genuinely like, oh my God, when I touch my skin, like I am so in love with myself. I love my skin. I love my body. I'm so grateful that I have this physical vessel that I get to experience life through. How you treat yourself literally has the capacity to change your physical structure. And so again, it all comes down to like how you treat yourself and why you're doing the things that you're doing. My next one is really find those little things. And I know I kind of mentioned this with the style tip, but maybe this comes to makeup. Maybe it comes with the way that you're wearing your hair. Like find those things that can be so uniquely you that really accentuate what you perceive to be your most beautiful features. Something that I really do love about myself is is my eyes. They're so dark. I've always got complimented throughout my life on my eyes. When I look into the mirror, my eyes are always drawn to my eyes. And so winged liner has really become like one of those signature things that really makes a difference for me. You know, on the days where I'm not feeling that great about myself, I know that if I were to put on wing liner and some lashes and really accentuate my eyes, I would feel so much better about myself. And so finding those things, I know someone that I really aspire to and look up to is Florence Given. I love her content, and she always talks about how she has pink hair and how that makes her feel just so fucking beautiful and so empowered. And so it is those kind of little things that make you uniquely you, that are so signature to you, but not that you're doing them to create a brand or to be perceived in a certain way. You're doing them because you feel a certain way, because you put the effort into doing those things. Now, getting into the mindset a little bit more, like I mentioned, you literally can change the way that you see beauty depending on what you're choosing to consume. And so one of the things that I think can really help is actually reprogramming, I should say, your definition of beauty. You know, in 2021, I lost a lot of weight because I was training Muay Thai. I was training to fight Muay Thai. I was training so regularly that I actually became like quite slim. And since then, not training as regularly, not training as intentionally to fight Muay Thai, I have put on weight, and I really became quite judgmental of myself. You know, I was looking in the mirror, and because I was comparing myself to myself, not even anyone else online, I was comparing myself to the thinner version of me. I really started to feel bad about myself. Like, I would really struggle when I was trying to get ready in the morning. I honestly was saying such terrible things to myself, like all the time, like, I'm so fat. Like, I was being really nasty to myself. And lately that has really shifted for me. First of all, because of some of the other tips that I've talked about in this video, I have applied them, like the style one. But the other thing is, I've been exposing myself to a whole other variation of beauty, a whole other variation of bodies. And, you know, I've been looking at a lot of like mid-century burlesque dances, and, you know, they had like a lot thicker thighs. They were a lot more curvaceous. And I was viewing these women, researching these women, and just in complete admiration of their beauty and just like seeing the variation in their figure. When I started looking in the mirror, I actually saw more beauty in the way that I looked. And so if you actually go and research like women throughout history, whether that's like Amazonian women, or whether that is women from different cultures, or just goddesses or deities, like whatever, you know, just different variations of beauty and of femininity and of women throughout history, rather than just, again, Kylie Jenner on social media, and you're actually expanding your definition of beauty and really trying to find those who you can see yourself in, then that's going to help you to see yourself in a different way. That's going to help align the way that you look, the way that you're presenting, the features that you were birthed with, in alignment with a completely different beauty standard than what we're like, you know, used to on social media every day. So expanding your definition of beauty literally can change the way that you see yourself. But with that, when it comes to mindset, you have to reprogram your self-talk. Like I just mentioned, I started being really mean to myself about my body, and the more that I was confirming that I was feeling overweight or that I was not feeling in good shape, the more that I saw that. When I started saying things to myself, I know it almost seems so corny to be like sitting in the mirror like, I am beautiful, I am amazing, I am voluptuous, I am sexy, but damn, it does work. Look into the work of Dr. Marissa Peer or even Louise Hay. Like, these women have for so many years talked about the power of self-talk, about self-hypnosis, of self-programming. What we are constantly saying to ourselves, this isn't about manifestation, but what we are constantly saying to ourselves is restructuring our brains. Your eyes, what you're seeing is a part of your brain. And so if you are hypnotizing yourself with negative self-talk to perceive yourself in a certain way, then what are you going to feel and think when you look in the mirror? But if you are constantly, and I know it's work, it takes effort, but shifting not only that perception of beauty, but also what you're saying to yourself, then you are really going to see something different in the mirror. You're not going to change physically, but what you see is going to be shifted, and you're going to see beauty, you're going to see radiance, you're going to see the hottest person in the entire world. And that was the goal of what we're trying to achieve here, is changing the way that you see yourself. Now, another little hack is that you can use like actual self-hypnosis, reprogramming tracks. There's lots on YouTube. You can make some for yourself. I have some inside of my BTCPIK toolkit, my Becoming the Coolest Person I Know toolkit, which are reprogramming tracks about self-love and success. And so that is actually going to change the way that you see yourself, not just physically, but in all areas of life. So I'm going to leave that linked below, plus a bunch of different journaling exercises to build self-respect and self-love as well. But honestly, you have to be really diligent with that self-talk, because that is almost like the spell that is creating not only your life, but the way that you see yourself. All right, that is it from me. Those are my tips on becoming the hottest person alive by, of course, changing the way that you see yourself, changing your self-concept. If you have any tips that you wanted to add to this list that has really helped you, I would love this to be like an open discussion. Please leave those in the comments, because not only does it help us just not feel so alone on this journey of being a woman and trying to be the best version of ourselves, but of course, I love when everyone does help one another. So thank you so much for hanging out with me in this video today, and I'll see you in the next one.